Good afternoon. The live video is starting, it's telling me. And I know it always takes a little while for you to all get popped on or for me to see that you're actually here. So I always like to stall a little bit at the beginning. And I'll just say that hello, I'm Marian Gelletley. I'm your host here for Fashion Flair Friday, every Friday at 12 noon, usually. Although next week it's going to change a little bit, so just be aware of that. And I am a certified image master and stylist. I have been a wardrobe coach for 30 plus years. And I still love what I do as much as I did. In fact, I love it even more today than I did 30 years ago. I'm a lot wiser and a lot more knowledgeable and am having obviously so much fun with clients. So when you come on, say hello. I see Janice is here, and it looks like there are a few other people, but for some reason it doesn't populate real quickly for me to say hello. So you know, just be patient and, let me know that you're here. And if you're going to end up watching this on replay, go ahead and put the hashtag replay in the comments section right under this video. So today I'm talking about that topic, jeans. Okay. Now, some of us love jeans and some of us not so much. So, are you a jeans lover? If you're a jeans lover, put jeans lover. If you're a jeans hater, I'm sure you're not even on today. And if you have a little jeans frustration, go ahead and put in the comments what is your frustration. Hi, Betty. Nice to see you. So, I like to say that jeans are one of those items like bras and your underwear that you really need to pay attention to every once in a while to make sure that the fit is still right and that the shape is still right for the body you have today, as well as for what's happening in the marketplace, because we are definitely in a major shift right at the moment. And I've been sort of forewarning you that this was coming, and that is that the legs are getting wider. Now, fortunately, we're still seeing a huge variety of things out there. But, what do you love most? And are you willing to start adopting some of the pants or the jeans now that are going to start widening at the hem? Now, if you're a jeans lover, like I see Betty says she's a jeans lover. Janice, you say you're a jeans lover. Okay, then I want you to think about you just need to have more than one pair of jeans. You need to have a little mini jean wardrobe because there are different parts of your life. So you might use jeans to go hiking. You might use jeans to go to the grocery store. You might use jeans to go to your casual work environment. You might use jeans to go on a date night or whatever, or go wine tasting. Janice, up where you are. So there are different looks and different types of jeans, and maybe different kinds of leg widths, different kinds of washes that that are going to be more suited to whatever that activity and that lifestyle happens to be. So just be aware that, one pair of jeans is not going to serve everything that goes on in your life. At least I want to I want to encourage you not to have one pair of jeans that serves everything in your life. All right. So I also want you to know that jeans can show up in a lot of other fabrics other than denim. So during the fall and winter, we might see corduroy, or we might see even a velvet type of a fabric. We can also see them in knit. I have a pair they're fashioned like a jean, but they're actually a knit fabric. And you see them even in leather. So what do you prefer? And also, what kind of washes do you prefer? Do you like a light wash? Do you like a dark wash? Of course, a dark wash jean is going to be a little dressier than a light wash jean. Or let me see if I can get these out here. Are you like me who has, oh, let's see, colors? I love jeans in color. So I would rather wear colored jeans than I would wear a blue jean. Yes, I have my blue jean, but I go to my colors more than I go to my blue. So, what is going to make you happy is really the question. And of course, right now for spring and summer, color is everywhere in jeans, as well as white. So here's a perfect example of, what I'm starting to see as the catalogs are rolling into my house. Yes, white jeans are here as well. And you can just compare these two photos side by side, and you can see there's a perfect example of a fuller leg jean, a wide leg jean, and the lady that's sitting down. And then the other woman, what does she have? She's got a crop jean, and it is either a jegging or a skinny jean. So, what do you prefer, and what works best on your body? That is the question. Have you figured that out? And if you have, go ahead and put that into the chat. Hi, Joey. Nice to see you. Yes, white jeans are chic. I love them this time of year. And because then we can put on all kinds of great colorful tops, whether it happens to be a tunic top or whether it's a short jean jacket, or, it could be a dressy, it could be a silk. I mean, we can have so much fun with white jeans as well as all my colored jeans. So I love the quote that Yves Saint Laurent came out with. He said, "I wish I had invented blue jeans. They have expression, modesty, sex appeal, simplicity, all I hope for in my clothes." So think about that: expression, modesty, sex appeal, simplicity. I think those are the kinds of things that we do enjoy in our clothes. So think about the attributes that you really want to be able to express in your jeans. Now, was there ever a time, there certainly was for me, where there was a jean style that you really had difficulty with? Or the body had trouble wearing a particular style. And for me, it was the low rise jean, which, guess what, caused my muffin top. Not very attractive. So I have been so thankful that low rise jeans have gone by the wayside, and the high rise jeans, or what used to be called mom jeans, and they're not called that anymore, are back in fashion. I would say 98% of the women that I work with, when I say to them, "What's the most important thing to you in terms of your wardrobe?" everyone says comfort. So, comfort in jeans is, I can't tell you how important it is. And I'm sure you all agree with that as well. So, are there any other kinds of problem areas that jeans has caused you? If you have them, a comment there. Let's see. Slim, skinny, ankle, straight leg are all good for Janice. And Joey says slim jeans look the best on me. Okay, so they're still around. But I also want to just say that slim jeans are the jeans that attract attention to the bottom. Okay, and that's why we have been wearing long tunic tops or long sweaters or something that covers the bottom. And so just be aware that, you need to look in the mirror. You need to take a look at the rear view, and you need to see what everybody else is seeing if you're walking in front of them. So skinny jeans, because they taper down so narrow, definitely call attention to the wider part of us up above. So if you've got a great bum, go for it. Or if you don't have such a great bum, then making sure that whatever top you wear will do a little camouflage for you is going to be really important. So let's talk for a moment about some of the prevalent things. So, as I said, the high rise jean is very prevalent right now. And the high rise comes up over the hip and the belly, and it settles at the waist. It kind of feels like, you're just tucked in. And I think that's what I like about it. Um, There's another option, though, that is called a mid-rise jean. And the mid-rise jean is for the woman that maybe has a thicker waist. So it rides up high in the back, but then in front, it ends just at the belly button. It doesn't come all the way up to the waist. So, what I want to just say about jeans is there's no one jean that's going to work for everybody. You really have to get in and try things on and determine what's going to work for you. There are all kinds of brands, there are all kinds of rises, and your best friend in jeans is this tape measure. Okay. So, what I want you to think about is, or what I want you to identify is, do you have a pair of jeans, forget the color or the wash, but do you have a pair of jeans that you always reach for? Because when you put them on, you'll love what you see. You'll love how you feel. And when you have that kind of a piece in your closet, then what I want you to do is I want you to measure the rise, both the front and the back, and I want you to measure the inseam, and I want you to measure the width of your hem. Okay? So let's use these pants as an example, and I don't know how I'll hopefully be able to show. So right here is the crotch point. I call it the crosshatch, where all the seams meet. What I want you to do is I want you to take your tape measure and I want you to start from that point and I want you to go up to the waistband. Now, what you're going to find is there are going to be different rises in your closet. And so this pair that I am measuring for you is measuring at about 9.5 inches. And it's not a pair that I reach for often because I just feel like it's a little too low and under my belly button. So, 9.5 inches doesn't make me real happy. Now you turn it around and you do the same thing on the back. You start at the crosshatch and you go up to the back waist. So let me do that here. And 15 and a half inches. Okay, that doesn't make me happy either. So what I know about this pair of pants is that I need a longer rise because I am very long in the rise. I'm short-waisted, but I'm really long from the waist down to the crotch. So therefore, my jeans need to have a little more fabrication both in the front and the back rise to make me happy. So that's what I want you to do, to put the tape measure on your favorite jeans and really learn those two measurements. And when you shop, take this with you. And all you have to do is do your measuring before you ever try them on and see whether it comes within the range that you're trying to hit. When you're ordering online, the same is true. Usually, in 90% of the cases, the retailer will give you the rise measurement, both the front and the back rise, and you can actually see, is that going to hit me where I want it to? Okay, does that make sense? All right, the other thing that you are going to want to do is you're going to want to take your hem. Now this happens to be a boot cut. You can see it is pretty wide. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the hem. And this is measuring at 9.5. Okay, so if I love the way this leg width really works on my body, then I too am going to measure, when I'm shopping, what is the hem width. So I'm really confident about that. Now, if I compare that, which is a boot cut, to this lively little pair here, I am getting a measurement of about 6.25. All right. So these obviously are skinny and I love wearing them. But again, I have to style them correctly to go with my body shape. Okay. Which means I need a tunic or I need something to cover my bum. So think about, there are the skinny jeans. There's the slim jean. There's the jegging. There is the high rise. There's the mid rise. There's the boot cut. There is the cropped. There is the wide. There is the stovepipe. Ah, there are so many options out there for you today that, I mean, the beautiful part of all of that is that you can find exactly what you need and what you want, but you need to know your measurements in order to find them. Now, the other thing I want you to know is that if you are one of those that maybe has a fuller bum and a really small waist, and you say to me, oh my gosh, my waists are always too big in my jeans, then just go ahead and get it to the alterations woman. It's a really simple alteration, and get that waistband tightened up so it works for you and it's not slipping down the back of you. The other thing that an alterations woman will do is to help you hem those jeans. And most alterations women have the right color of what do I say, thread, heavier thread that actually can put a jean style or jean looking sort of hem in your pants. Because I know some women are very picky about that. Um, so you need to know what is going to be the length that you need. So, and how do you determine that? Well, you're going to measure your inseam. So the inseam is again from the cross area, that little cross point there, and measuring all the way down to your hem. So for me, on something that is an ankle length pant, if I go ahead and put this measure here, I'm going to see that on an ankle length pant for me, 28 inches is going to be my inseam. So again, check your inseam measurement when you're ordering online or taking your measurement so you've got your inseam. And if you say, oh, I love these jeans, I love the color, the rise is perfect, but for me, maybe I have a shorter leg, my inseam should really be 27. Okay, fine. Then just know that you're going to have to take these to your alterations person and have her hem them for you. So, investment in alterations are just as important on jeans as they are on anything else that's in your closet. All right, so I mentioned to you that a slim or a skinny jean puts emphasis on the bottom. A bootcut jean tapers from the knee. It's tight to the knee, and then it begins to ease out and flares out, and usually has a width that's probably about the same width as your thigh. They're great for wearing with boots. So if you're a boot wearer, then you want to adopt a boot cut pant, and there are plenty of them out there today. Now, a flared jean is more exaggerated than a boot cut. In other words, there's more space above the knee, and the flare is a little bit wider than a boot cut. This particular jean is really good if you need to camouflage knock knees. So if your knees come in, knock kneed, then that flared jean is really a good jean to wear. Let's see, what else do we have? The ankle jean, just remember the idea of an ankle jean is that it's going to land right at the top of the ankle bone or just above. And it's a great little jean to show off your sneakers or your Oxfords or your loafers, or even, your heels or your platforms, your espadrilles this time of year. So this is a great example, okay, of the ankle jean. And this is a skinny ankle jean. We could also even call this a jegging, although a jegging typically is one that you pull on rather than button. But there you go. And here is another very slim leg. And you can see there's the tunic down over the bottom, which really balances nicely. There are things like patterns in jeans today. So, if you love to have some fun with your jeans or your bottoms and you don't want to do a solid color, something like this in a pattern would be fun. If you're somebody that says, I really don't like that ripped and that distressed look because it's not refined enough, and I'm one of those people, I thought these were kind of fun. So you see they have little patches on them, but so they're a little bit distressed, but they're not quite as rough and tumble as a ripped jean would be. I personally believe for me, ripped jeans just look a little like I'm trying a little too hard. I'm kind of over that age. And then there are also jeans that have fun detailing. Look at the ankle detailing on that particular jean. Or you're also seeing with embroidery. Or I even bought a pair that look like they have a quilting on the front, and then at the cross section of the quilting, there are little rhinestones. So, kind of a fun jean that I can wear out to dinner or in the evening. And then here is what we are beginning to see. So you see how the wider leg is definitely with us, either cropped or not cropped. And just know that if you have a short leg, this kind of look is not gonna be your friend. Because what? We are creating too many horizontal lines. A horizontal line right here with the shoe, and then we see the skin, and then we see the hem of the jean, and then we see there's a horizontal, it looks like a stitching across the bottom. So a lot of horizontal lines that just cut the leg, cut the leg, cut the leg. So if you have shorter legs, you don't want all that distraction. You want to make sure that you keep the eye moving up and down. So right now, if you aren't wanting to go to a wider leg or a fuller leg pant, then what you might want to adopt to start moving off of that skinny jean is to look at a straight leg jean. So it just falls straight down from the hip. It doesn't flare out, but again, it gives the illusion of more fabric. So you might say, okay, then Marion, what are brands that you recommend? I'll tell you, there are so many brands out there. I don't even know where to begin recommending. I think it's a case of you really do need to um, you need to try them on. You need to go to the store. It is like a bra fitting, where you're just not quite sure what's going to work, but once you've got your measurements, that's going to help, and then you just start trying on. So I like things like I like Paige. I like Not Your Daughter's Jeans. I like, but you also have, in that particular brand, you have to size down a size. I like Wit and Wisdom. I like Jag jeans. I like Chico's jeans. I like J. Jill jeans. I like Cut from the Cloth. So you see, there are many different brands, and the only way you're going to know what you like is to get them on and try them. So it takes a little time to dedicate to finding the ones that you love. Let's see here. What else did I want to say? Something popped in my mind and now it just popped right out. Talking about brands. Boy, I'll tell you. Anyway, do you have any questions for me? As I'm looking here, I'm not seeing any questions. Hi, Yasmin. How nice to see you here. My goodness. Would you stand up when you hold up the jeans so we can get a better view? Okay, well, I think we're beyond that now, but hopefully the pictures helped a little bit. And so I want to encourage you to have fun with your jeans. I want you to identify them and see what works for you, and then start placing your orders or get into the stores and start trying them on. And have fun with colors for spring and summer, or have fun with patterns. And just make sure that the proportion of the leg and the proportion of the top is really balancing the body so that when you look in the mirror, you like what you see. One suggestion I always have is whenever you're in doubt, well, maybe not even when you're in doubt, I think get in the habit of taking selfies of yourself. Hopefully you have a full length mirror in your, closet or your bathroom. And I want you to go ahead and take a photo, and I want you to look at the photo, because I'll tell you something. Photos don't lie, but the important thing is that you hold your camera up vertical. Don't tilt it forward. Don't tilt it back because that is going to skew the proportion. So just hold it in front of you and then snap your picture and then take a look and see what you see and see if you like what you see. Okay? So, um, I think that is it for today. Let's see, Betty, you said some denim jeans have an elastic waist, comfortable, but how to style. I'm not a fan of elastic waists, but I am a fan of, let me see if I have them here. Maybe this is what you mean by an elastic waist. Let me come down here. Is this what you mean by an elastic waist? In other words, they have some give here. So, or are you talking about ones that actually you can see the elastic? I think these are clean and flat front. This happens to be a Chico's pull-on jegging ankle length pant. And what I love about it is that it's got a flat front. There's no button. And because I'm all into comfort, not having that button that kind of hits me in my fleshy part just under my belly button makes me very happy. Now, in terms of styling this, what I do is I just make sure that if I'm going to tuck in, I'll tuck in and then I'll blouse it out a little bit. I'll kind of do sort of a French tuck, if you will, on one side. Or what I'll do is just make sure that my top comes out and over this band. Okay, so it looks like a jean from the front and it looks like a jean from the back. Okay, so does that answer your question? Who was it? Was it Betty? Yes, Betty, does that answer your question? And again, if this waistband, like I say, is just a little too loose for you, you've got a seam on each side, and your alterations person can go ahead and pull that in and restitch that for you and make that adjustment. So comfort is so very important to all of us, especially as our body begins to change. Here's one more thing I'll just mention that I'm seeing quite a bit of. And that would be this kind of a detail on the leg. So cuffed, if you will. I think they're really fun for summer. But again, if you've got a short leg, this is not going to be your friend. So just make sure that, again, if you are in your body proportion, your vertical body proportion, if you are a little bit longer in the leg and a little shorter in the torso, then this kind of thing will work for you. If you have short legs and a long torso, this is not going to work for you. So what I want to say about that is if you're not sure about what your vertical body proportions will support in terms of lengths of garments, what should be the length of should you wear a crop pant, number one? What should be the length of, let's say, a midi dress or a street length dress? Or how long should your overtops or your tunics be? Where should they hit on the body? Just know that that is a service that I provide to my clients. It's $250. You get a full report based on your measurements. And what it allows you to do is to stand with your tape measure, not your tape measure, but your yardstick, put it up to your body, see where the measurement hits on your body. What I do is I actually measure or I mark my yardstick, and then I can put the yardstick right up to my body and I can say, oh, I see that top needs to be shortened a couple of inches, or my cropped pant needs to be lengthened an inch. And that vertical proportion is so important in having us look our very best in terms of proportion and balance. So just know that that is available to you. If you would like to reach out to me, you can just direct message me and I can send you more information. So that is it for today, ladies. Let me just make sure. Okay, Betty, we got the question answered. Wendy, thank you. Helpful information. Wonderful and great seeing you, Yasmin and Janice, and I think Diane. I think I saw Diane was here as well. So thank you so much for joining me. Next week, I believe, let's see, what is next week? Next week is um, the 6th. Yes, and so next week I will be doing Fashion Flair Friday at 10 a.m. because I have an out of town client coming that I'm going to be working with starting at 11. So I don't want to cancel it. So what I'm going to do is move it 2 hours earlier to 10 a.m. And of course, if you're not able to be here live, the replay is always resident here on the page and you can watch it at any point in time. So I will look forward to seeing those of you that can join me next week live, and those of you can't, I hope you'll go ahead and check it out on replay. So that's it for today. Have fun with your jeans. Start measuring the ones that you love in your closet. And now you've got a new secret to help you find the fit that really makes you happy without having to try on 50 pair of jeans. Okay, ladies, take care now. Bye bye.